and you are looking at a comfort food for dinner that's on the lighter side. Fresh turkey meatballs on a bed of marinara and soft zucchini noodles. It's a versatile meal that you can prepare ahead or you can make it fresh. We've got Mandy Merriman here to show us how to make this tasty and healthy dish. Now, yes. Mandy, what makes this dish come together so easily?
All right, so what makes it come together so easily is that all these ingredients you already have in your pantry, guaranteed. And so they're super simple to throw together. Also, I love how this keeps and keeps and keeps. So you can have it as a meal prep even, just make a whole batch on Sunday and have it for the rest of the week. And on Friday, it's still gonna taste just as good.
And for meal prep and the health aspect, I mean, you can't get much healthier
yes.
than this for a full, hearty dinner meal.
Absolutely,
okay.
I feel like
and now
so
this
good.
recipe that we're going to do, we're doing
yes.
with ground turkey, but could you do it the same recipe with ground beef if you wanted to, or ground chicken?
You totally could. Whatever you have. We just love the taste of the turkey with this, but you could definitely do it if you have ground beef. You could do even some ground pork if you'd like to, but you could even do a mixture if you have just a little bit of some. And so, but we love it with the turkey, so that's why we shared it this way.
Okay, so we've got the ground turkey in, and then what do we do?
And then we're going to add in some Japanese panko breadcrumbs, and these are a little bit more thick. It kind of gives it a little bit more of that thicker texture in there.
Okay.
And then I have some Italian breadcrumbs. There are regular breadcrumbs at the store, but I love using the Italian version just because what it does is it adds on a lot of the Italian flavors in there, like you get a little more garlic.
That extra zest of seasoning with it.
And so we have our Parmesan cheese. This is Parmigiano Reggiano, so it's a little bit more bite, and I love that about it. Next, we have some garlic powder. You could use fresh garlic, but I love the way the garlic powder just mixes in pretty universally. Salt and pepper, of course, and then Italian seasoning just to keep that Italian flavor going all the way through. And then we have red pepper flakes.
And now that was a minimal amount of red pepper flakes, so you don't have to worry about it being too spicy, right?
It's gonna be just enough to get that flavor, like just as I was telling you, we have the zucchini noodles are pretty mellow in flavor, and so you want to really amp up the flavor when it comes to these meatballs. And of course some egg yolks. I make a ton of cakes, so I always use the egg whites, and yolks are always sitting in my fridge. So this recipe,
so that's a perfect use of it.
Well, it comes together pretty quickly. So I've tried to do the mixing with spoon, with potato masher. I've even tried to use my KitchenAid with a paddle attachment to mix it together, which worked pretty well. But I mean, use your hands.
No,
I feel like that's the greatest
Don't take the fun out of it. The hands are what makes it so fun.
I'm a mom of little boys, and they love the ooey gooey, like mud and dirt and stuff like that. And so if they get their hands dirty, they are happy boys. So, okay, so let's go ahead and do this. So the size of the meatballs, what I love to do is, if I'm making it for my little boys, I'll make them little, because they're a little more bite-sized, a little more fun that way. But if I'm making them for me and my husband, I love the grandiose nature of just a giant meatball on the top of the bed of zucchini noodles. So the best way to do is think about like maybe ping pong ball size, golf ball size. So I squish it and then I roll it. And so these, you bake in the oven at 400 degrees. You just make the rest of these and line it up. 400 degrees for about, I think mine was done in about 18 minutes this morning. So, I mean, you don't have to sit by a pan and stir it and roll them and make sure they're evenly cooked on each side. They cook up beautifully. They just toast up really lovely. I love the way that these just are
and they
so
look delicious. Okay, but the other thing that's delicious, take those gloves off and tell us about the zoodle. I just want to say zoodle 5 times.
Zoodles. Okay, I love zoodles. We have them quite often, especially if we're having pasta. I was talking in my Insta stories last night about how we just stir in spaghetti squash zoodles right into our pasta dish, and my kids don't even know that it's in there. And they'll just eat right in. So, I mean,
and what's the difference with the sizes?
So there are different attachments to the zucchini or the zoodle maker, and so the little ones make more of like a angel hair pasta type size. I love the zucchini noodle, just the regular spaghetti type size this. Okay. And then of course you have the big ones, and so you can do that if you want to make it a little more fancy, a little more fun, but I'm more about just keeping it in the middle there.
What about the water runoff with these? I mean, do you cook them less based on their size?
Absolutely. These ones will for sure need a lot more cooking, and the way I cook mine is a little bit different. What I do is I will take my zucchini noodles and I'll spiralize them. Here, I'll show you how.
Do we twist this? What do we do? I've actually never used one of these, so I'm excited
you're gonna have so much fun with this. So
I've got the little hand one that you have to, put your bicep muscle
or whatever.
into.
Yeah, that one is intense. So this one, this is gonna be a revelation for you. So I cut off the ends and then I just lined it up right here. Make sure you get a pretty straight zucchini. The thicker ones work better, but not the seedy ones. So just kind of find it in between nature. Watch, this isn't gonna work because we're on TV. There we go.
And then you just crank it.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna switch it to this one. There we go. We have a backup, guys. Look at that. And so we get these cute little zoodles. And so these are, I mean, zucchinis by themselves, they're pretty watery, and you're gonna get a really watery zucchini noodle dish if you don't do the following step. And so, yeah, you just keep going. I usually do about 3 or 4 of these. It's gonna look like a ton. You're gonna be like, this is a mountain of zucchini noodles, but it cooks down really fast, just like spinach. It looks like a lot, but it cooks down.
Okay.
And so what I do is I put it in a dish like this, just with the sieve on top, and then I do a little bit of salt on top, and I let it sit over a little bowl right here, or even over my sink with some salt on top. And what that does is it draws out a lot of the liquid, and then you just kind of squish it out with either like a flour towel, or you can do just like a regular towel, and it gets out all that stuff. Boil it up like spaghetti. I usually do it for maybe 3 minutes, and then toss it in with your marinara sauce.
And look at that. Look, that is our finished product. So delicious. And then you just sprinkled some Parmesan cheese on top.
Absolutely, and just top it off there. And I mean, this is one of our favorites, and so we'll keep eating this.
Perfect. Where can people go to get more recipes from you and get this specific recipe?
All right, so I blog over at bakingwithblondie.com and bakingwithblondie.blogspot.com too. I'm in the middle of a website redesign, so they're kind of both there. Also, I'm really active on Instagram, so follow me there as well for my latest cakes and also these just healthy, family-friendly recipes.
Thank you so much, Mandy, for coming up with such a fun idea. Love it. My mouth's watering.